Who is connected? Can I hear your voice? Who is connected? Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice very loud and clear? And if that's okay, then I like it. I would like you to say something if you can hear me. Wow, that's okay. I We should continue from where we stopped yesterday. And um, if you missed yesterday's class, I will make it up for you. I want to make sure you miss nothing. So I am going to simply capture the fundamentals. We simply get the basic things. This is actually a crash course on HTML and CSS. And after this class, it's not going to be just HTML and CSS. I want you to um, look at the actual uses of these programs and what you can use them to do in real life. Okay, I told you yesterday that HTML simply means a hypertext markup language. I hope you can hear me very well. You need to reaffirm so I know I'm not talking to myself. All right, that's very good. So I said HTML simply means hypertext markup language, and it is simply used to build websites and applications. That's what it is used for. I'm giving you the act. I don't want to speak too much grammar or too much explanation and get you confused. Okay, I'm going straight to the point, and you are going to see it practically what it does and how it is used. Okay, now HTML is not a programming language. Yes, is not a programming language. In case if you go for any interview and you are asked, is maybe you are given list of options to select from, and the question is which one is not a programming language. I want you to know that the answer is HTML. or CSS if CSS is in the equation, because they are not programming languages. What makes a program a language to be a programming language? You know, when we talk about programming, what programming simply means is to make something behave in a certain way. You can program a human being. It's not necessarily a machine. Yes, when you make something, okay, it's just like the word configuration. You can configure a human being to behave in a certain way. You can configure a machine to behave in a certain way. You can, configure your machine to actually do exactly what you want it to do. That's what programming looks like. But it's not the kind of things HTML and CSS does for you. No, this is different. Rather, what HTML is a building block. It is the skeleton upon which every other thing you are going to build is established. And why do you use it? Why are you going to use it? As a programmer or whatever it is you are doing, why do you need to use HTML? Yes, why not just do what you want to do? Do you need to see what I mean? For instance, if I have now I'm working on index.html, and this is the body. Yes, this is the body of this document. Why not I simply just write this is classroom? Why do I need to put it in P? What happens whenever you're using a tag to know where that tag started and where it ends? Are you seeing this? When I click on this P, the selection is here to show you that this is the beginning and also this is the ending of this tag. If I click on this H4, the same thing applies. You can see the H4. If I click on H3, the same thing will happen. If I click on any tag at all, are you following? So one reason, the question is, why do you need to use HTML? So HTML is simply used to structure your document to the browser, to tell the browser, this is how I want my document to appear. When I put a text in this P, it means I'm telling the browser I want a paragraph text. That's what it means. All right. If then I put the same text in H4 or H3 or H2 or H1 or even H5, you also have H6. You have from H1 to H6. If I use it, it means I'm telling the browser this is a heading, not a paragraph text. I hope you are following. All right. So when you are using HTML, you are simply structuring your document for the browser, and that's exactly what it does. So it's the skeleton. Yes, it's the skeleton for whatever you are going to build on the internet. And it's important. It's important as long as you are going to use computer, you will use it. I want to show you something quickly. If I log into I hope I can share this one too. If I get into, okay, look at this new website, for instance. This project is yet to be launched. I just want to show you. Yes, this project is yet to be launched. I've almost concluded it, but then there are a few more things to add. Just look at this program. If, for instance, to add something, let's say focus area. Mhm. This is a user admin. This is a user dashboard, okay? And okay, let me share something. There's something I want to show you. Let me share that part of the screen. All right, can you see that? Now, while working on this page, if for instance I want to add something and I click on new, when I click on new, what happens? Look at this place. I can add HTML here. Let's All right. If I enter this text as it is, if I enter it as it is on this application, what will happen is when this thing is printed in the front end, it's going to be a heading one. It is just that simple. Even though I'm entering this from a user interface that has been built to accept input from users, but then if I use H1, if I enclose it using H1, is going to actually make it a heading when this particular text is printed out from the front end. The point I want you to note here is this. As long as you are interacting with the computer, as long as you are interacting with any system that has to do with digital right now as it is, you can always use HTML to tell the browser how you want to structure your text. That's the most important function or duty of HTML is to structure your text document on the browser so that it will appear exactly how you want it to appear, and so that other users, when they visit, this is how they will see the document. So it is just as simple as that. That is the definition and the primary function of HTML. So I'm going to switch to the other page for you to see what I'm doing. And okay, now on this. So that was the introduction yesterday. Yes, that was the introduction yesterday. We were dealing with introduction to HTML and why you need to use HTML. So before we continue, is there any question? Is there any place you think you did not hear me very well, or you think I should explain? I want to hear your feedback. Are we communicating? Blank, really? All right. To summarize everything, I said, or we said, HTML is simply a hypertext markup language for building websites or for building applications. Generally, when we say applications, we don't necessarily mean only those things you download on in your Play Store. No, applications can also run on desktop. As a matter of fact, there is something called web application, and there is also something called mobile application. And generally, we call all of them applications. Do you understand? So when we say HTML is a hypertext markup language for building websites and applications, you now understand what we are explaining. Every page you see, as long as it concerns browsing, is built with HTML. Yes, every page. Let me show you something. Look at this. If you visit this website, let me share that page now. Um, for instance, if you visit this project, All right, if you visit this project and you want to see the HTML structure of this particular website, what you do is simple. Click here, anywhere at all, just right click, and you can do two things. One, you can either inspect using this one and inspect it. When I inspect it, I will see the properties. What are the properties? Properties are the settings that has been implemented using CSS. Now, look at the properties. That's what it's giving me. Look at the color. It was called secondary. I will explain why the color was called secondary. That's not really the area you should see. Where you should pay more attention to is the view page source. Look at the HTML structure of that particular web page. Look at the code. Yes, you can still call it code. They are codes. This is the code that made up that website. So it means that you can copy this website, you can simply copy this code, and you have built that page of the web. Only that what you will get is just the design and not the functionality. So, are you seeing it? This is the first thing you are going to do. Write it down now. Yes, write it down. First assignment. And what is that assignment? You are going to inspect digital.soasmy.com website. View page source, comma, copy the HTML codes and try to replicate the website. This is your first assignment. Inspect digital.soasmy.com website, view page source, copy the HTML codes, and try to replicate the website. Are we following? Can I get a response? Are we following? Are we following? Are we on the same page? Can someone say something? All right. So this is the first assignment. Inspect digital.soasmy.com website, view page source, copy the HTML codes, and try to replicate the website. Let me try something like that. Assuming this is the website, and okay, and I right click and I click on view page source. Okay, I can use Ctrl A to select all of them, and I will use copy to copy it. Okay, that's what I've done. Just copy it. Now, when I come back to, let me share my VS Code. Um, I can select all of this and save. I paste this one and I save it. All right. Now let me bring up a. Let's visit this website. Let's see what it looks like. I hope that page is showing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let me show you what it looks like. This is the folder HTML5. This is in Classroom. It's a different file. The class does it anyway. Okay, so I double click to open. Can you see that? Can you see what's showing? This is that website I copied. You see how everything looks disorganized. Look at the website. See how beautiful the website is. You know why is this beautiful and this arranged? It's because CSS have been added. Yes, CSS is what makes it beautiful. I remember yesterday I told you that HTML is like uncompleted building. It can even be a roofed building, okay? But then the structure is still rough. There is no painting, no screening, nothing, no beautification, just the structure. So that's what HTML is. But CSS then comes to bring in the beauty. It is with CSS that you make your website look beautiful. I also mentioned to you that sometimes when clients come to us, they will tell you, I want a visually appealing website. I want my website to be eye-catching. Those kind of recommendations. So it's with CSS. If you know CSS very well, you can make something beautiful. I hope you appreciate this website. But then look, see how it looks like without CSS. This is it without CSS. Are you seeing it? So it is the CSS that does the rearrangement, all those kind of it's called alignment, setting the margins, setting the paddings, determining the color. Okay, that's what CSS does for you. So you see, without CSS, see what we have, and with CSS, it's now beautiful and looking as it should be. So that's the summary of what we have done. We said HTML is simply a hypertext markup language for building websites and applications. And then we also said it's for structuring, telling the browser how you want to look like to the audience. Yes. How do you want your text to look like to the audience? This is what HTML does. Let me switch you back to VS Code. Okay. All right, so let me go back to what we had. Okay, now we have simply talked about HTML. We have talked about just a few tags. Now, today I want us to talk about somebody is on my website. Please, you should wait. Let's finish the class, okay? Somebody's on the website. Who is there? Okay, maybe I should maximize the screen, but then it will minimize this chat too. I want to be seeing your conversation. Can I make it bigger? The weather today has not been really good. I was even surprised at first that it could connect, you know. So maybe it's the network that is not making it so clear. All right, I'll continue. Any questions? Yes, we are coming to CSS. I want us to understand just a few things. We can get into CSS today or maybe tomorrow, but step by step, let's see what we can do. I've given you the first assignment, right? Now okay, let's not talk about that one. We will come to it. Any questions? I want us to continue. Okay, for a new member, in fact, you came the right time. Remember, okay, what I wrote in the classroom, I said, forget about the previous video yesterday. You know, I'm going to make today to be inclusive, to include both today's class and what we did yesterday. How many tags? There are a lot of them you need. In fact, I don't know how many tags that exist. And not just me, no developer knows. There are many tags as possible. Should I have? Okay, maybe I should just put that assignment in the group. Let's see if I can. Yes, so you can all see it. Okay. All right, I just posted it. Go to classroom and you will find it. Any more questions? I want us to continue. What you have simply done is introduction. So for someone that is coming now, that's a good time to start. It's a good time to join. That's the question, the exercise two. Now let's continue. In the absence of further inputs. So here, the first part I want to discuss with you in this place, I called this place boiler plates. What did I call it? Boiler plates. Boiler plates. That's what I called it. Yes. So whenever you hear boilerplate, it's just this your beginning environment. Just this is from where you put is actually is. Now in this boilerplate you have the heading. Pay attention to this. It's getting interesting now. It's getting interesting now. Are you seeing from here? It says head. Hmm? I'm trying to separate them. When building a website, you can make changes on the language, but we'll not talk about that now. That's the meaning of what you are seeing. But then it's not important right now. Pay attention to what I'm teaching you. This part of the website is called head. I'm going to separate it. Anything you put in between this place is called head. Are you hearing me? And anything you put from here uh, in between this place is contained in the body. The website page is like a sheet of paper with header, with body, and with footer. Are you following? I said the website page is simply like your normal document paper with header, the body, and the footer. It's exactly what you're seeing here. This is the head, all right, and this is the body, and the footer is what you are going to define by the time you continue to develop your website, and it will still be contained inside body anyway. It will be contained inside body. You are going to have you are going to have something like this. All right. Sorry for. Okay, let's continue. For now, let's just leave it like this. What do you put in the header? That's the first question. What do you put in the header? Before I answer this question, take it as assignment. Yes. I hope you can hear me. Please leave the website alone. Focus on the class now. After the class, you can visit the website and do what you want to do. Okay? Wow, not clear. Really? Someone said that earlier too. Is there something I can do to improve that? Okay, blank. No, 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 no. Not blank. Really? Unless maybe your signal is slow, but it's not blank. Is it still blank? This seems to be the full screen, nothing else. Okay, so the first thing I'm going back to the VS Code. I hope you can see my page now. All right. The first thing you put here is to determine what is meta. What is the meta and what is the name and what is the content and what is also the title. What are these details? These are your headings. Now pay attention. Have you heard of search engine optimization? Who have heard of it? Who have heard of SEO? Have you heard people talk about SEO? Yes, somebody already said it. Chat Kingdom already said SEO. That's search engine optimization. My God. I think I know what's going on. It's not really blank, it's slow. Yes, when I switch between windows, maybe it takes some time before you see it. It's not really blank, it's just slow. Wow, really? Say it again. Is this still blank? Even though I've read our chat. Is this still blank? All right. Okay, I asked the question and already got some answer. Someone said SEO, it simply means search engine optimization. When you are building a website and you want to add some SEO tags, you know what I mean now. When I say SEO, I'm talking of search engine optimization. At this point, let me tell you, or you already know, every field have its own terminologies. You understand? You are coming into the field of software development, and gradually you will be acquainted with the terminologies, with the necessary balance, the industry glitch. You will get used to it over time. So when I say SEO, I simply mean search engine optimization. And what exactly is SEO? If I want to define how I want Google and other search engines, how I want them to see this particular website here, what I will simply do is I will define it by this place. Are you seeing this place says content? And yeah, it's showing me just device width and the initial scale. That's just for, this one is for what we call viewport. I think it's time you start writing. Number two assessment is okay. What and what? I think I need you to mention at least you need to familiarize yourself with maybe four, yes, let's say 4 or 5 meta tags from the heading. And I'm trying to find a way to put it for you. Okay. Identify the meta tags usually found in the HTML boiler. Yes. Boilerplate heading. Okay. Um, I think that wasn't properly put anyway. Let me just give you some examples. The thing is, when I switch now, you complain of not seeing my screen again. So I am being careful with that. But see what I want to do now. I'm going to add, someone asked before, how do we connect CSS? I'm going to simply connect my CSS by using a tag. And there is something we have not discussed. But even before I do that connection, I can start working with CSS. I can simply say style, and I will put it here. And while it is here, I will say, I can say body. And while I have body, okay, I can say background color. Background color, maybe uh, let's use tomato. All right, and saved. I hope we can see it. Did my screen disappear? Let me hear from you. Did my screen disappear? All right, that's good. Now, what I've simply done is uh, I'm trying to apply styling to the HTML elements I have below. And I simply generalize. I simply want to apply this formatting to all of them. So I said body. I did not mention anybody's name, but anything contained inside body will be, this particular change will affect them. So let's look at the results. On Windows, I okay. All right. Can you see what I've done? I hope my screen is still there. All right. Whenever you want to apply styling to your documents, it is not every time you need to do separation of concern. There is something I refer to as separation of concern. Not just me, is the actual balance. Is about putting HTML5 separation of concerns. But then when you are application that doesn't require so much CSS, or you don't need to really separate it, you will go to your heading, and from your head you add style. You cannot just, that style you can't add it here. Pay attention to, I cannot take this style and add it here. If you try it here, it's possible it will work. It might still work, but that's not the practice. I hope it's making meaning to you. Remember, there is something also I need to point out to you. If you are taking this as assessment on, okay, if you are taking this assessment maybe on Outlier, for instance, and they ask you the right place to place the style tag if you are styling on the same page. Well, if you put it in body, it will work. In fact, if you also go to the footer, most likely it will work, especially now. Recent technology, recent development makes it easier. Yes, it makes it easier. You can be making mistakes and still think you're doing the right thing with recent technologies. That's what it looks like now. But though not in every program, by the time you get into core programming, there are some languages where There are programs we call forgiving languages. Yes, yeah, we call them forgiving, like though they don't forgive too much anyway. If the error is too obvious, they will not allow you get past it. But there, some programs can let you, ignore some errors. So HTML can be like that, but then the actual word practice is what you need to learn. To put your style, you don't put it here under the header. It has to be inside, enclosed. Do you understand me? Enclosed in the header. It should be like this. This is the position. Now, if you are dealing with JavaScript, let's assume that is a JavaScript file that will make up your application to. You have to come to the bottom of the document, and this is where you introduce JavaScript. All right. And in between this place, you can put all your JavaScript code. By the time if we keep advancing this, we are going to build an application, something really that can work, because like play, they don't dey serious. So just say it. Just note that the proper place to place your JavaScript file in your HTML document is where? At the footer. Now let's take these notes. Let's note it down again. I said the proper place again. Okay. I said proper place to place your JavaScript files or codes. Let me use codes so it will be easy for you to understand. Yes, the proper place to place your JavaScript codes is at the bottom. Okay, it's at the bottom of the footer. I hope what I wrote is there. All right, good. Yes. And now there is something else. Do you know one reason I'm making sure you're noting down these tiny points? Because Outlier will ask you like an interactive section. So this is exactly how it will look like. They are not going to ask you to come and maybe to color something or to no, it's not going to be practical. What Outlier will ask you is the OBJ. Okay, it's going to be multi-choice question. So you choose from the options provided. Now, I have just told you that the best place to place your JavaScript codes when you are working is at the footer. Do you understand? Good. It's just that simple. That is the best practice. But now, one may ask, are there exceptions? Are there exceptions? And the answer is yes. Yes, there can be exceptions. There can be times when certain JavaScript snippets can be placed instead of at the bottom, it can be placed at the header, or maybe somewhere on top of somewhere here. Just watch this. I hope you can see my screen. Uh, There is something I wanted to show you, but let me not switch and switch and switch. But look at, I need you to follow every part of it so it will be easy when you are going through it again for you. Okay, look at this website for instance. Are you seeing it? Now, this chart is made possible with a code snippet, JavaScript code snippet. So, in that kind of a JavaScript code snippet, it may not necessarily be at the footer. If we right click on this website and view page source, when you view page source, okay, when you view page source and scroll down, this is the JavaScript code that is powering that chart. Look at the code I'm talking about. Just this. Do you understand? This is the JavaScript code that is powering the live chat you are. In this case, it wasn't placed at the bottom. See where the header ended. Are you seeing the header here? Are you seeing the header here for this website? That's for this website. We are exploring this website now, the HTML component of this website. That's what we explore. You see that? Let me take it up a little. Good. Look at the head. From here to here is head. That is the header of this particular HTML document. Do you understand me? This is the header. Now, the JavaScript file was placed just right after header, but then before the body. In this, the owners of those code snippets will tell you exactly where to put it on the website. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. The place to put your JavaScript code is at the bottom. Let's get to the bottom of this page. Now, are you seeing these things? These are, it's end with JS. You can see it. This is the JavaScript file. That's the extension for JavaScript files. Okay, so that's how it works. The JavaScript files are for the now for style. There is no styling in this particular document. Yes, there is no styling. But if they put the style here, the style would have been added in between these lines and here. Though we are going to talk about these ones, but let's understand what we are dealing with now. So, always blank, really? Coming back to VS Code anyway. Thank God it's recorded, so you can always come back to it and get exactly whatever you miss. All right, is this still blank?